Welcome to B-Dub Hub. This is your host, B-Dub. Today we've got a special video. A lot of our viewers over on Whatnot have been asking for this for quite a while. We got a lot of new people playing Bo Jackson's Battle Arena, which is very exciting, very exciting. And generally people they ask, B-Dub, what's the best way to learn how to play the game? Other than just jumping in and doing it, watching videos, things like that, asking questions, the sealed events. So the sealed events are the best way to learn how to play the game. You jump in, you get your box handed to you, and you go from there. So recently, they've been doing sealed events with the double mega boxes. So that's what we have in front of us here today. We're going to show you guys how to build the deck, the format, and we'll go from there. So what do we need for a sealed event? Guys, other than showing up, generally a play mat is something that you want to bring with you. You don't have to have a play mat. You can either have one of the paper play mats, but a play mat, if the shop doesn't have one, the play mats are nice because it just makes it for when you're opening your packs, things like that. Another thing you may want to have with you, you don't have to, but are sleeves for your cards. If you have a really big hit, maybe you have a featured hero, a hex, a bubblegum, maybe you hit an auto, you will want to protect it. Guys, I am an affiliate with Heavy Play, and these are my favorite sleeves. And you can also go to heavyplay.com and use code BDUB10 for 10% off. So generally these sleeves, or any of the other brands, I like these sleeves because they do have the curved bottoms and they do hold up really well and they're really protective. The sleeves that I have in here, on this deck here, I've been using for quite a few months now and they've held up really well. But yeah, heavyplay.com. Use code BDUB10 and you will get 10% off your order. Besides just doing the sleeves, you may want to do double protect your sleeves. So whether it's a perfect fit sleeve like this here, just a simple perfect fit, Heavy Play also has the ones that fit their sleeves in particular. Other than that, the sleeves to protect your cards. A deck box can be nice because you are going to be getting up, moving around, playing at other places. Heavy Play does make some really nice deck boxes as well for Bo Jackson Battle Arena. I prefer the 130 size because there is room for your hot dogs, your plays, and your heroes. So this is the 130 size deck box that I am using. This here is one of my spec decks, but you'll see the heroes, hot dogs, and then the plays. Now guys, I don't typically sleeve my hot dogs, or generally I don't really sleeve the plays, but it does makes it nice. So if you want to have maybe two different color sleeves for your plays and your heroes, but you don't have to. I'm typically not too concerned with protecting the plays, but sometimes I sleeve them, sometimes I don't. So, how do we play a sealed event? You need to listen to the judges, whoever's in charge of the event. They're generally going to have a format. Recently, it's been 40 heroes and 20 plays. But they've also done past events where there's been, full 60 heroes, 30 plays. It all comes down to, how many packs are in the event. With the double mega, you have 14 packs. So they've basically been doing 40 heroes and 20 plays. It's generally going to be, whatever the amount of plays you have, you're going to have double the amount of heroes. So if you did, 10 plays, you probably have 20 heroes. In this case, they've been doing 40 heroes and 20 plays. But that's not to say that maybe they don't do, some update collector boxes with 20 packs, different things like that, where they may have other formats. So make sure that you know what the format is. But currently, like I said, it's mostly been the 40 hero, 20 plays. So you're going to be given your box at the beginning, and you're going to have 1 hour to build your deck. Now, if it's a a more, relaxed, sealed. Basically, I'm not in too big of a hurry, because part of the fun in the sealed event is opening the packs, right? Enjoying them, seeing what everyone else got hit. But if it's a big main event, so if it's a 10K event, if it's for big money, I'm typically ripping those packs very, very quickly. Yes. Trying to get through them to basically be able to build the deck as quick as I can. The heroes, obviously you're just taking your 40 top powered heroes and then your 20 best plays. But the more time you have to go through the plays, sort them, the better you can feel about your deck. But let's do it. So what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'll probably fast forward in here, but we'll get to and we'll see the cards and we'll kind of talk about how I would build this deck. I don't know what's in this box. It's 14 packs, so we'll see. So we'll fast forward to where we have all of the cards ready, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, so we have the 14 packs here. We're going to go ahead and rip them, and I'm going to show you guys how I generally, when I'm doing the sealed, how I do it. So I just rip them, I put them in a stack, and then I just go through them. Alright, we have all 14 of the packs ripped. Now it's time to sort. Guys, if this was a money event, or you're playing for big money, this is exactly how I would do it. I would not go through pack by pack. What I then do is let's pull one. We'll take that dumper. That's cool. What we're going to do is we're going to take the heroes, take the plays. You're going to need 10 hot dogs. We're going to separate them that way. Plays, hot dogs, heroes. We're going to just take 4 hot dogs out and keep the remaining 10. Heroes, plays, and hot dogs. So that's how I would sort them. I know it's going kind of quick, and it's not a great way to enjoy the pack opening experience. But if this is a big money event, I want to spend as much time looking at the plays, building it out how I want to build it. So if you spend 30 minutes opening up the packs, that's only 30 minutes to build the deck. Spend 5 minutes opening up the packs, then you get 55 minutes to build the deck. And you're in doing pretty good shape when you have a lot of 130s and 135s. Even having some of the 125s are good. The more of those you have, usually the better box you have. Looks like we got a glow on the brawn. That's cool. In a sealed box, you would hope that would be a bigger power glow. Alright, so we got them sealed. take 4 hot dogs out. Now you have your 10 hot dogs. Your 10 hot dogs for your deck. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the plays. We're going to go through and we're going to find our 20 best plays. When we're looking for our plays to build our sealed deck, what we're looking for low hot dog cost, and then we're looking for power. We want plays that buff our power. A lot of times, drawing more plays, things like that, it can be a waste. You basically want to find cards that can buff your power. If you don't have cards that can buff your power, maybe other zero cost plays, things of that nature. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to pause here. I'm going to go through the plays and I'll show you the 20 best plays out of this deck that I would use. I'm also going to show you cards that I probably wouldn't use if I wouldn't have to. So when we're playing in spec tournaments, typically all of our weapons are going to be the same. In a sealed tournament, you're typically going to have, your steel, your fire, ice, and brawl. So you're typically going to have 4 weapon types. So it's going to be kind of hard to, like a weapon sync. Your previous hero, current hero share a weapon type. Your hero gets plus 20. Otherwise, draw play. Now, drawing plays is nice in spec, but, 2 hot dogs just to draw 1 more play, not very ideal in a sealed tournament. Now, with the, if you build your deck a certain way, you would have to keep in mind. So if you have that play in your deck, just keep in mind that to be able to use it, you would need 2 steels, 2 fires back to back. So if you run plays like that, you need to keep that in mind with your heroes. So as we're sorting through these plays, I typically will have a couple different piles. Plays that likely would use, a maybe pile, and then a pile that you definitely don't want to use, right? So that's kind of how I sort through them. Plays like this, guys. Your opponent can't run any plays in Battle 7. That's a great play, and in some cases maybe you would want to run it. But for me, 3 hot dogs. Just to win 1 battle, maybe it's worth it. If you've got a lot of high heroes, so if you have a lot of 135s, 130s, maybe you do run that play. But for me, I'm not quite sure on that. We'll have to see what other plays we have here. So that goes in the maybe pile. Some of these other plays are going to go in the no pile. You'll see a lot of plays go in the maybe pile because you need to go through and see what you have here. Like this play here. Name a weapon type. If your opponent next player has that weapon type, they get 15. In a sealed event, it's going to be very hard to know what weapon type your opponent's going to have. So you probably aren't going to run that in a sealed event. This would actually be a pretty good. I like this one. Gavel Justice. 4 for 30, maybe, but typically the battle is not going to be determined by 30 points. So for 4 costs, it's a maybe. This one here, Crystal Ball, I would not run that, right? Basically, it is 0 cost, but your opponent's just as likely to get the plus 30 as you would. I would not use that. Jump Ball, maybe. So it's 0 cost. So if it's if you can't win the battle, maybe it's a last ditch effort. Anyways, for 0 cost, might be a play, maybe. Probably not going to use that. Maybe. Probably wouldn't use 2 for that. Alright guys, so you'll see we have a pile of plays over here that are pretty decent. And you need 20 plays, so you're just going to count where you're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, so we're down to 20. We're already down to 24 plays. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the ones that were maybe and no, and we're going to pull those out. Right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to look through the 24 that we've kind of narrowed it down for so far. Guys, I know the coin flipping plays aren't necessarily great in a spec tournament, but, you know, if you can flip a coin 4 times, I think, and there's a couple of those, right? Alright, so the heads up, maybe we use it. Just depends on what our other options are. 10 for a sub. So, you know, you're going to be substituting sometimes, guys. You're probably going to want to substitute at least once or twice in each match, just depending on, you know, what heroes you have. But, you know, if you substitute in, then that would give you 10. That's a pretty decent one. This is another one, guys. So, it's 3 dog special. So, you have to only have 3 hot dogs left to be able to do it. So, that's kind of a certain scenario card, but to be able to get 10 at 0 cost in a sealed event, it might be all you need. So that's a maybe. And which you'll see the coin flipping ones. Forced Retreat could be a good one for 2 cost. Could get you one. Robin Hood, right? So that gives you, takes 5 from them, gives 5 to you for 1 cost. I probably would be using that one. The more coin flipping ones, it looks like this might be a decent coin flipping type deck where you would want to do the, let's see, did we pull one? Yeah. So we pulled a loan shark, right? So for the rest of the game, each time a coin is flipped, lowers battle. So what you would do is you would put that in your deck, and then not only a play like this, not only do they lose 10 each time it lands on heads, but each time you flip the coin, they also get lowered by 5. So that would be a pretty good combo. Now, that's going to be an extra 2 cost, hot dog cost, for that to happen. So that's going to be, you know, if you do that style of deck, you definitely want to have a decent amount of the coin flipping ones in there, right? So you would do the loan shark with the cursed coin and heads up. And then if you have any other coin flipping ones, then maybe you would do that, right? There's a shooter shoot. That would be another good one to pair with that. Maybe the discard or 10 you would pair with that. Another shooter shoot. All right, let's see where that puts us. All right. So just with the coin flipping cards, we would have 3 of the shooter shoots. Yeah, 1 of the cursed coin, 1 of the discard or 10, 1 of the heads up. So now the thing is though, you're not drawing through plays. So if you don't draw this, you know, only these cards are going to be doing. But you know, you're lowering your opponent by 5 each time it lands on coins. I'm not real big on the coin flipping ones, but you know, if that's where your deck is taking you, that's where it's taking you. You have to play the cards that you get, right? So maybe you go with that style of a deck, or maybe you just say, you know, I don't want to chance it. I only want to do plays that will guaranteed to get me a certain amount. This Robin Hood is always a 10-point swing, right? It takes 5 from them and gives 5 to you. Now this one here, if you are going to play that play, obviously you want to make sure that most of your plays are 2 or less, which I think for the most part, most of the plays we have are 2 or less. So that could work good. So, you know, it would give your hero plus 10 for 2, right? I know this lucky 7 looks kind of silly. Like, why would I want to do that? it's probably not going to land on 7, right? But it's 0 cost. So, and at the worst, you end up losing a hero from your hand. So I would maybe use that, but there's probably better ones in here, so I'd probably get rid of that, all right? This play here, I know it's plus 10 for 2, but also if your opponent has more hot dogs than you get to recover a hot dog. Being able just to recover one hot dog in sealed play would be very good. So I would use that one. Probably would not use Lucky Discard. Probably would not use Weapon Sync. All right, guys, this is another play that you're gonna see used a lot of times in the sealed tournaments are the burnout, stuff like this, right? There's also an ice version and a steel version of this play. The steel version zero cost. That's actually what I think I had three scrap metals in my deck when I won the Vegas event. And that's another thing, guys. Maybe you're like, B-Dub, why should we be listening to you? What do you know about sealed play? I have won a big 10K sealed event at Vegas. I've placed top 8 in a few of them. So we've done fairly well. Bentley's actually placed top 8 in a couple of them as well. But yeah, this burnout one here. So since you have 2 burnouts, you want to make sure you have a decent amount of fire in your deck. Maybe you would even take some of the lower brawl ones out and substitute some of the lower fire. So I may get rid of a 110 brawl to put a 105 or even a 100 fire in there, because typically those lower power cards, if they land up on your hero board, you're going to want to sub those out anyways, but you're hoping they maybe land up in your end up in your hand. That was one thing I did in Vegas. I had 3 of the scrap metals, so I put some extra steel heroes in my deck. So if we're going to run the burnouts, we definitely want to make sure we have some fire heroes in there, and that's why I typically do the plays before the heroes, because we want to know, now that I know, hey, I got 2 burnouts, I want to make sure when I'm sorting my heroes, I have some fire heroes in there. This is another one, guys. So this gives you 10 for 0 cost, but you can't run any plays the next battle. So you pretty much know that if you're running this, the next one, you may not be able to win the next one, but be able to get 10 for 0 cost is pretty good. This is another one, the weapon mixer. I see this quite a bit in sealed play because there's a lot of different weapon types revealed. So if you have a brawl on the board and then there's a steel and ice on the board, that now gives you 15 for 2 cost. This one here, typically you're not going to be able to sweep the board, guys. So you're going to lose a battle. So that would give you plus 10. I would use that. Now this is another one. If you lost to 2 previous battle, your gear gets 15. So maybe on this, if you're running this play, you got to realize, hey, to be able to use it, I need to lose 2 battles in a row. So maybe you kind of what's called backloading. You put all of your high-powered heroes towards the back. So that way you lose the first 2 knowing, hey, I'm going to save my resources so that way I can be able to use this play. 10 for a sub. If you're going to run this play, it doesn't work if you sub. So if you have this play in your hand, to be able to use it, you're going to maybe need to sub the next one. And again, we've talked about this 3-dog special. To be able to use it, you're going to want to be able to, you have to spend 7 hot dogs. So maybe, you run, a couple plays, and then you run that 3-dog special. All right, so we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 plays. All right, so we would need to add 4 more. Definitely would use the 2 Robin Hoods. So that would put us up to 18. And then, I would probably... So we need 2 more. I would probably do the Forced Retreat. And then probably the last one would be maybe the Lucky 7. I mean, at worst, you don't hit it and you discard a hero, right? Or maybe actually what I would do is the refill and reload. I know I always say, being able to draw 1, but let's say you get the, some of these plays might be worth using again, but, for one to be able to draw another play, probably not so bad. But yeah, that's probably the plays that I would use, guys. some people might disagree with me. But yeah, that's out of this box. These would be the 20 plays that I would use. Refill and Reload, Forced Retreat, 2 of the Robin Hoods, 1 of the 3 Dog Special, 10 for Sub, Comeback Time, Good Fortune, a Weapon Mixer, the Maximum Effort, 2 of the Burnouts, Catch-Up Bonus, 3 of the Shooter Shoot, Discard or 10, Heads Up, Curse Coin, and Loan Shark. That would be the 20 plays that I would use based on this box I just got. I wish the Burnouts were scrap metals. If you can get a couple scrap metals, you're normally in pretty good shape. But yeah, based on those 20 plays here, now we're going to sort the heroes, guys. So typically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to, the higher power, the better. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort through here, and I'm going to pull out all the like 125s and above. We're probably going to have to do 120s, actually. So that's what we'll do. We'll go down to 120 off the bat. So any 120s we're going to put here. We're probably going to have to go back. What you're really looking for is 135s. Your 135s are going to be what helps you the most. So we'll see how we do on power-wise here, and I'll tell you how I feel about it. Couple 135s, not looking too bad. Couple 130s, would like to see a little bit more. And a sealed. Probably going to need a decent amount of 115s. It's about the first time we're seeing all of our cards as well. Alright, so where are we at with that? So we got 2 135s. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're at 9 heroes. We're going to need a decent number of 115s, guys. Alright. So we're at 9 heroes that are 130 or 135. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. All right, so we need 15 more. We will need 15 more heroes. So that's where we go to our 115s. We'll probably have to go, we may even need to go down to 110s for this one. So then we're just going to pull out all of our 115s. It might be quicker just to, pull the 150, anything 110 or above out. It might be the quickest way to do it. But I like to get a sense of, where I'm at on my bigger cards. I know it's not the cleanest way to do it, and it might not be the way that other people would do it, but it's typically kind of how I do it. Other people maybe open one pack at a time and I'll, sort them by power. But alright, so where are we at there? We needed 15 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so we're going to need 5 110s. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to find the fire 110s. There's an ice. Hopefully we could end up with 5 fire 110s. But if not, maybe we go down to 105s. Maybe we go down to 100s even. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but you need fire to be able to use those 2 plays. Might even need to go down to 105. All right. All right, so we needed 5 more. We definitely want to do one of the fires. And then I would probably do... I would throw a 105, another 105 fire in there. I know it, you gave up 10, but, just to have another fire in there. So that would be our 40 heroes, guys. Our 110s with our random 105 plugged in there. And then we go up to 115s. And we go up to 120s. Our 125s. Our 130s. And then your all-important 135s. So, I feel like this is a pretty decent deck. I feel like that, I don't know, if I was given this deck at a big sealed event for big money, and there's a lot of good competitors there, I don't know that I'd be able to win the event with a deck like this, but I think I could do pretty well. I think I could possibly finish in the top 8. There's not, some of the plays that I normally like to see aren't in here, but they're decent plays. Like I said, you basically want to have your 40 heroes, which are your 40 top heroes, depending on, what plays you're running. Maybe you sub a couple of the bottom ones out for plays, for the type of heroes that you need based on the weapon type. But, if I had some more fire in here, some like 105 fires, I would probably include those over some of the other 110s. But, I don't think I would go down to I don't know that I would go very much lower than the 105s with this particular deck. But yeah, that's what I would do. So you would have your 10 hot dogs, your 40 top heroes, which, start at usually generally 135, 130, unless you get super lucky and you get a featured. You would obviously want to plug that on the top. I would sleeve these too because of that great grandma hit we got. That Dumper's a very nice card. I would sleeve these up. I probably wouldn't sleeve my plays up because there was not a bonus play or a short print play, anything too crazy. But again, so that's what we would do, guys. Those are the 20 plays that I would run, the 40 heroes that I would use out of this deck, and then my 10 hot dogs. But yeah, that's what I would do. If you guys have any questions about sealed play, if you guys want us to run through how you actually play the game when using these cards, but this gives you kind of an idea. 40 heroes, 20 plays. The plays can be doubled up. The heroes can be doubled up. You could have literally 10 105 fire scaries in your deck if you wanted to. But the formats are always changing, so just be aware. When the judges tell you what the format is, that's what it is. So, but yeah, let us know if you guys have any questions. What do you want to see from us next? Do you want to see us actually playing the game? Do you want to see us doing a video on what are the best plays? What are the best weapon types to be building for your spec decks? Things like that. Let us know what you want to see next. Make sure you visit me on Whatnot, guys. We typically stream every Wednesday and Saturday. Sometimes we do Sundays, and sometimes we just do pop-up shows when we feel like it. But yeah, we're also on TikTok, BDub Hub on TikTok, YouTube, and we're working on bdubhub.com. So all of our videos, all of our accessories, anything like that will be on bdubhub.com. So it's coming along, guys. We appreciate everyone. The BoBA community is the best. But yeah, let us know what you guys want to see next.